Let's talk about peptides that work very synergistically well together. I'm going to be doing this in a series format, so really talking about one particular topic per video, but the topics I'm going to be covering are overall body comp, energy, good sleep, good digestion, and even skin and beauty. Let's dive into the first one, which I think is probably the most common one, which is overall composition. And being able to notice big differences in these sections, and even here. Yes, these are typically paired alongside with the recipes of sematui, terzatui, or ratatouille. You can absolutely use these singularly as well. When we are talking about overall composition and really being able to fine tune those areas, we want to look at what can actually help with our energy expenditure and what can actually help with our metabolism. The first ingredient that I would really want to look at would have to be 5-amino-1-MQ. This one particularly helps inhibit NNMT, which is nicotinamide N-methyltransferase. Basically, when NNMT is rising within the body, we are unable to use energy in a more efficient way by decreasing NAD. But by inhibiting NNMT, we are actually allowing NAD to rise and being able to use energy in a more efficient way. When we are thinking about energy and energy expenditure, we want to look at the mitochondria and how our mitochondria is operating. Let's say our mitochondria is not operating, which is a lot of people. It's very common to not have great, good, clean energy all the time. I would want to implement something like SS31. And SS31's job is to really protect the mitochondria, to really repair the mitochondria, to be able to use energy in a more efficient way. You can already start to see a little bit of connection there, especially when it comes to energy expenditure between 5-amino and even SS31. But another one that I would implement on top of this one would have to be motzi. Motzi is a mitochondrial-derived pepper that works directly with your mitochondria to use energy in a more efficient way. See how that phrase is coming up a lot of how we are using energy in a more efficient way? That is how we are able to boost our metabolism. If we are not doing this process correctly, we are never going to see movement in these areas that we really struggle with. Which is why it is so important to make sure that we are operating at a high functioning capacity at a cellular level, because if we are not, nothing is going to move. So now let's pivot just a little bit. Now that we understand how things are working on a cellular level, let's talk about things that we can actually notice physically. You guys already know what's coming, a fan favorite peptide of mine, which is AOD9604. AOD's primary job is to stimulate lipolysis and inhibit lipogenesis, which is the fancy way of saying the formation of fat and the breakdown of fat. I have personally, in my own journey, noticed a huge difference while implementing AOD. But here's the catch. A lot of people do not know how to use AOD efficiently, and there's a lot of conversation and a lot of chatter that AOD doesn't actually work. But when you start to truly understand the science of AOD and how it operates, you need to have a shuttler peptide. That being lipo-C, L-carnitine, or carved. Carved is found specifically on modern aminos under NAD/L-carnitine blend. So by implementing a shuttler peptide, you are ensuring that AOD's hard work is being given to the mitochondria to be used as energy. You can see the little bit of correlation there as well, because AOD's job is to make sure that free-form fatty acids get thrown to the mitochondria to be used as energy. You can see why it is so important to make sure that everything is operating at a high capacity on a cellular level, because everything kind of draws back to that. Specifically even AOD and even any shuttler peptide. Last but certainly not least, if you are really wanting to put a cherry on top of all of this, or let's say you had a lot to really lose, you could add in something like tesamorelin. Tesamorelin is a GHRH, which is a growth hormone releasing hormone. It has been proven to really target visceral fat, stubborn areas, and really help with insulin sensitivity. So this one is a great one to implement as well if you are really wanting to hit it home. There's a little inside scoop into different peptides that work very synergistically well together, and ones that you can pair alongside each other that will give you the best bang for your buck. I have truthfully fallen in love with so many of these, and I think that you guys will too. As always, I am so happy to help, and I am always happy that you are here.